What is an almond mom? Have you heard this term floating around TikTok, Instagram, maybe just like the corners of the internet lately, and you are wondering what the heck it actually means? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, my name is Katrina Kofed. I'm a non-diet nutritionist and an ACE certified health coach, and I help people heal their relationships with food and years of emotional eating and create long-term sustainable healthy habits so that they can feel good in their body, stop stressing about nutrition, and just stop all the overthinking about food that we tend to do. So let's dive in. In today's video, we are talking all about what almond moms are, and more so what the almond mom rhetoric really represents for diet culture. Because honestly, had you asked me a year ago to predict this trend, I never would have foreseen this becoming such a current hot topic on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube today. So I think it's really interesting to delve into. But first, let's get to the root of who was the original almond mom. I'm gonna play you a few clips of the OG almond mom, Yolanda Hadid, Gigi Hadid, and Bella Hadid's mother. If you wonder how they got their start in modeling, you look no further than Yolanda, who was also on, I wanna say it was Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. But I mean, it's just crazy. Let's roll the tape.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the food. Pretty much all the food that we're eating is like a heart attack.
And then you gotta get back on your diet then.
I was actually really good this week.
Yeah.
Gigi called.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she just felt a little dizzy because she's on that fast too. And so she thinks this might be a little dangerous riding her horses. So do you want to call her right now or?
Yeah.
I'll just hold it for you.
But she said to...
Hey Gigi, here's your mom.
Hi, lovey.
Hi, Mommy. How are you?
I'm okay. I just woke up. How are you?
I'm feeling really weak. I have like half an almond.
I have a couple of almonds. Chew them really well because your stomach is not...
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. Okay, love you.
Okay, I love you too, baby. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye, baby.
Feel better.
Bye.
The hardest for being on our diet?
I have to have a bite for good luck, though. Mommy, you're gonna have a little bite with me. Yes, you are.
Okay, you give me a little bite, I give you a little bite. But not too big, no, that's too big, the half of that. Gigi's in charge of her own diet, but to be on your best weight, you gotta make the right choices. This is you. You know what, Gigi? I think that's it. I'll do this. How is it? I can't believe you just did that. So good.
Okay, so those are just a few clips from when she was on Real Housewives, and you can see at this time, Gigi especially is like a teenager. I don't know, she's maybe like 14 or 15. And Yolanda just has like all these scathing things to say that I think if this show were to air today, I think she would be eaten alive on social media for saying these things today. Like even now, people don't like her, I feel like, because she has done all of these things like publicly and sort of encouraged very disordered eating, if not a full-blown eating disorder for her daughters, but especially for her daughter Gigi. So this type of commentary from Yolanda is very exemplary of what an almond mom actually is and looks like. And I think what I'm gonna get into a little later on in the video is that a lot of people might be like, oh, well, what's so bad about that? She just cares about her health, right? But there are times where we take caring about our health a little too far, and this is one of those cases. So when we think about how almond moms really got their start, I want you to go back to the early 2000s and think about diet culture of that time. Now, I do want to be clear that diet culture was well and prevalent in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but specifically the early 2000s, everyone wanted to be ultra skinny. If you were not a size 0 or a double 0, that was like the only thing that you wanted to be. No one wanted a butt, no one wanted boobs. Everyone was just like thin as a board. And if you really look back to a lot of tabloids of that time, a lot of women who were maybe like a size 4 or 6 were like villainized in the media for being fat, which I didn't mean to put the quotes around villainize, I meant to put them around fat, but you get my point, right? Like we have I think especially of Jessica Simpson, and there's a few others that are not coming to mind right now, but especially Jessica Simpson was like a normal size, like still thin woman, and was like crucified for having gained weight in the media, right? Same thing happened to Britney Spears as soon as she gained like more than 2 pounds. So when you really think back to the early aughts and thinking about diet culture, everything revolved around being as skinny as possible. And we really did not have any sort of acceptance around different body sizes and this whole concept of like health at every size, right? So I'm talking like the 100-calorie like Snak-paks. I'm thinking of like those little Oreo packs that you used to be able to get, like those crackers, Oreo crackers essentially. I don't know. All of the like Yoplait yogurt, like the Special K diet, you know, just eating like tuna and cottage cheese. And to be fair, cottage cheese is having a massive resurgence along with, I feel like, everything else Y2K themed. Another mainstay of the early aughts time period was America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks. And oh my gosh, when I tell you that that show aged like milk, it is absolutely crazy. These women, I mean, if you, again, were not real thin, it was game over for you, which in the modeling industry isn't anything new, but that doesn't mean it's not still problematic, right? And let me know in the comments if I should do a complete deep dive on America's Next Top Model debunking diet culture edition, because I think that could be really interesting. But anyway, so you're kind of seeing what I'm saying here. So almond moms really got their start because they were influencing us, you know, millennials, especially millennial generation, as children and teenagers growing up with all of these diet culture impacts, right? So this whole thing of like, everyone needs to be very thin, everyone needs to make sure that they're only eating low calorie and low fat foods. So let's move on to what I mentioned earlier, which is, well, what's really so bad about almond moms, right? What if they just want the best for their kids? They just want their kids to be healthy. Who can fault them for that? And in that case, I would say if that were actually the concern, I would agree. I talk with a lot of parents, I work with a lot of parents who just want their kids to be healthy. But the parents who genuinely just care about their child's health and making sure they're getting their nutrition needs met, you know, making sure they're eating enough food is very different than the almond mom who is in reality policing what their children are eating, right? That's really what it comes down to, and is policing their body weight and their body size and how they look. So if you grew up in a household with an almond mom, and it doesn't even have to be like your parent, this could be relatives, this could be family, friends, you know, this could be any like adult presence that was around you that really engaged in a lot of diet talk, that maybe was critical of your appearance, your weight, what you ate. All of those things as a child and as a teenager can make you very self-conscious and can have a really bad impact on your relationship with food, right? I think that's a big like duh moment. But you would not believe the number of clients I work with today who growing up did not have a supportive role model for having a good relationship with food and, you know, being able to find that balance of nutritious eating and having a good relationship with food, right? So there are a lot of people who end up working with me because their parents, or especially their moms, push them to be on diets from like the age of 10 or 12, or got them to join WeightWatchers because they were on it, and God forbid their kid gained more than 5 pounds in puberty, right? So this is really the nuance of like, well, what if I just care about my kid versus like, I can't have my child gaining any weight at all, right? So if you're watching this as a parent, what I really encourage instead is focusing more on whether or not your child's nutrition needs are met. And if you do want to involve your child more, whatever age they are, right? Like obviously toddlers and under, maybe not the best time for this, but children, like I think in middle grade school and older really can be more involved in the kitchen, whether it's helping you prepare meals or prepare ingredients, you know, going to the farmer's market with you. If you actually care about your child's health, whatever age they may be, whether they're still, you know, in grade school or if they're in high school, getting them more involved in meals that they actually would be interested in is going to be a much better approach to helping them build healthy habits, especially when it comes to nutrition, and also making sure that they have a good relationship with food and that you're not accidentally damaging that relationship with food and making them more self-conscious of their weight and their body size and their body image than they really need to be. I think the impact of almond moms is even worse because when you think about that time, you know, teenagers are so vulnerable and they really tend to hyperfixate on certain things. So as soon as a parent suggests that they have a weight problem, that can lead to years of an eating disorder for a teenager, right? It can take them years and years of adulthood to heal from and recover from. It can require intense therapy, you know, nutrition counseling, working with a lot of different professionals to overcome. So it's not just that you can make an offhanded comment about your child or your teenager's weight and expect that there will be no consequences, you know? It might be one thing if you yourself are trying to lose weight, but being very mindful and cognizant of the language you're using around your children when it comes to your own body, and especially when it comes to their bodies and the food on their plate. And I do really feel like the clients that I work with today that are parents with young kids, they're so mindful and cognizant of their language and their behavior around food, around eating, around their bodies with their children today, because I have so many women that tell me, I do not want my kids to grow up the way I did, thinking that food was bad or that fat was bad or that I could only eat a certain amount, or always just being self-critical and always feeling really bad in my body image. You know, we all know being a teenager is hard enough as it is. So if you have kids that are around that age, or, you know, if you have younger kids, this is really something you want to be mindful and cognizant of, because they listen to everything we say and everything we do. So you want to be setting a good example, right? And my guess is if you're watching this, you definitely are not an almond mom or an almond parent, but it's more so that getting into that diet talk can kind of like slip in along the way, especially if down the road, if for some reason you are concerned about your child's weight and their health. Again, I encourage you to really focus on your child's health from a nutrition perspective. Are they getting the nutrients they need? Are they getting all their micronutrients, right? Do they have any vitamin or mineral deficiencies? Are they eating enough food? Are they active? What about their emotional and social well-being, right? We know that's a huge part of a child and a teenager. Any person's overall health, social and emotional well-being are a really big part of that picture, right? So looking at those things before just getting into what does your teenager weigh, or what size are they, or did they gain some weight, focusing on the whole person. And again, that might sound like common sense, but it can be easy for people to forget that, more so than you might realize. So I'm curious, I want to hear from you guys. What diet should I debunk next, or what diet trend that we're seeing resurface should I debunk next? What's your experience with almond moms? Did you grow up with an almond mom, or are you like, I have no idea what this is until I saw your video? I'm so curious to know. I would love to hear what your experience with this was. And for now, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.